Welcome to Blueprint Radio. I'm your host, Martin Williams. Here we help you create a blueprint for your life. So let's build. Welcome to Blueprint Radio. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud, even though I haven't uploaded to SoundCloud in a while. All links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast with an S, or wherever you're listening to this podcast now. So I'm going to continue today with the Power of Decision 30-day journey through this amazing book. I'm on day 4 right now. And today's topic is going to deal with indecision. So in the book, chapter 2 starts talking about indecision and how destructive it can be. And I couldn't agree more. I think that indecision is one of those silent killers of dreams. A lot of people live and die and never really make a decision about what they want to be, what they want to do. And basically people decide their lives for them. And it's sad, to see that. It's sad to see talent go to waste because a person failed to make a decision. And I don't have to talk about other people. I can talk about myself. I know that I've had issues with making decisions over the years, starting things and not finishing them, not really being sure about what it is I wanted to do and being afraid to fail and all of that. And all that does is just waste time, and it increases frustration. It increases just a lot of, just ill feelings about where you are in life. And you have to get to a place where you start making decisions. So that's, that's a little bit of my experience with the topic. So let's just delve in and see what Dr. Barker has to say about it. So he says that all failure comes from indecision, right? And indecision is a decision to fail. Now that's a pretty solid statement there, that indecision is a decision to fail. Most people would say, I didn't choose to fail. I didn't choose to get divorced. I didn't choose for my business to not work or to get bad grades in school and everything else. But when you don't make a decision to make it work, then you're making a decision for it to not work. And I think that's, if that's all you took from these 30 days, and that's all you heard, that would change your life. That in and of itself will change your life. If that's all you took from it, is that me deciding start over. If all you took from this was, I didn't decide that I was going to make my marriage work, or I didn't decide that I was going to make my business work, it's basically deciding that you're going to fail. And I don't think people really think about it like that on that level. It's easy to say, well, I did my best. And that's fine. But did you make a decision that your best was going to be enough to make this work? That's a power that we have. I think a lot of people think that they don't have that power. They don't have the authority to make that decision. But you absolutely do. It's your life. God gave you the keys. Okay? He gave you the keys to your life. You have to make the decision on what that life is going to be and what it's going to mean. So Dr. Barker goes on and he says, people are considered geniuses. They don't have more intellect than you do. When you look at a Jeff Bezos or the late Steve Jobs, or you look at a Bill Gates or Elon Musk, or anyone that you consider to be a genius, they're not more intellectual than you are. They just act in their intellect more than you do. They act intelligently, and they use what they have at the highest level, which is why they've achieved what they've achieved. Okay, successful people know how to use their mind and emotions. It's what Dr. Barker says, assuming that they can do something and then they set about to do it. So anytime you see a successful person, they assumed that they could do something and then they just went and did it. And maybe it didn't work the first time, and maybe it didn't work the 100th time, but they kept going because they knew. Like, when you know something, you're going to keep going and you're going to keep trying, and I don't even like the word try, but you're going to continue to work in that knowing until you manifest the thing that you decided to manifest. And when you look at people, successful people in every walk of life, they kept going because they knew that what they had was special. And it's not that they weren't tempted to quit. It's not that they didn't want to quit. And it's not that they didn't quit along the way temporarily before they went back and finished what they started. So their assumption becomes their decision. They assume that this restaurant is going to work. They assume that this marriage is going to work. They assume that they're going to lose this weight. And that becomes their decision. Dr. Barker continues. He says, how you think and feel determines your place in life, right? So if you think like a failure, you feel like a failure, that basically determines that you're going to be a failure, even though you have the intelligence of God within you, even though you have all the talent in the world. It may be in a different field than, your favorite singer or favorite dancer or whoever, right? It may be in a different field than an athlete or, a songwriter or what have you, but you have talent in something and you have the potential to raise that talent to a godlike level. But if you think and feel like you're a failure, then that's what becomes your life. And that's a very sobering realization. When you really think about it, it's a sobering thought to think that if I don't control my mind, I can basically put myself in a place of failure when I have all the ability to, live above that. So life, and I would say God, responds to our decisions by giving us the ideas to make them manifest, right? Dr. Barker goes on and he says, stop asking for advice. And this is a big one, right? We have an entire self-help industry. And I'm not saying that it's not good, but he says that when you ask for advice, you're negating your ability to make your own decisions. Okay? It's okay to get ideas from others, but the decisions need to be yours. There's some people who they perpetually are asking for advice. They're scared to make a move, scared to try anything, scared to take a step forward. And it's because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust the intelligence that God has given them. God's given you the intelligence to make your own decisions, regardless of what people around you say, right? And it may be people that love you otherwise, but, they say, well, he doesn't make good decisions. The reason that he's not making the best decisions is because he doesn't trust himself. It's not that he doesn't have the ability to do it. And so what people have to learn is that you have the ability to make good decisions if you act intelligently, if you act from the pure intelligence that you were given at birth. And the way that you build that, it's like building a muscle, it's like building any skill, is that you've got to stop taking advice and stop asking for it. As I said, it's okay to get ideas from people. But what you have to do is you have to take the idea. You may get 3 different ideas. One might be good, the 2 might be horrible. You've got to decide which one is best for you and then go with that one. And then if it doesn't pan out, you own it. You don't blame the person that brought you the idea because this is your decision. You own it, you learn from it, and then you go and make more decisions. Because until you start trusting your decision making, you're never going to make good decisions. And that's something that I can speak to personally, because I didn't always trust my decision making. I didn't always think that I was a good decision maker, and the results panned that out. Right? I wasn't making good decisions in life. And so what I had to decide is I'm going to start trusting my decision making. I'm going to get more information before I make decisions, but it's not going to take me forever to make decisions. I'm going to start making decisions quicker, and I'm going to start making them better. And over time, it got better. It all got better. My decision making got better. The time that I made the decision got better. And I'm not saying that I don't struggle from time to time, because I overthink. It's one of the things that I've, struggled with for a great part of my life, is I overthink a lot of things. But when you get to a place where you understand that pure intelligence is within you, you don't have to overthink. It's all been thought out. You just got to make a decision and then decide that your decision is going to work. It's really that simple. The answers are always within you. So the Bible says that the kingdom of God is within you. And what that means is that the dominion of God, of the Creator, is within you. And every answer that you could possibly want, every answer that you could possibly search out or ask for, is already within you. You don't have to look outside of yourself for the answers. The answers are already here. And you're equipped to be that thinker that gets the answer. Like I said, you already have the intelligence. You don't need to read another book. Books are great. And, I'm literally going through a book right now on this podcast, but don't look for a book to give you the answer. The answer is already within you. If anything, you want the book to shine the light on where the answer is. You want the book to tell you where to look. And the only place to look is within you. That's where God is. Now, I will say that God is decisive. God is law and order. And so when you act intelligently, you're lining yourself up with law and order. A great way to know if you're making good decisions or not is, are your decisions leading you into more disorder, or are they leading you into order, right? Because order is, a lot of people say that order is heaven's first law, which is true. If you are ordering your life, you're moving closer to God. The more disorder that you have in your life, you're moving away from God. And that's in every area, whether it's finances, whether it's your health, whether it's, your career, whatever it is. If you have a lot of disorder in your life, you're moving away from God. And as you begin to order things one by one, you move closer. And you move closer to who you truly are. So a good affirmation that Barker has, and I'm not going to do the affirmation verbatim, but I modified it, is that I'm never indecisive. I had the right idea at the right time, and I'm pure intelligence, always acting intelligently. And so when you begin to start speaking that over your life, what you do is that you tap into that intelligence that's within you, and you set an expectation for your mind that we're not doing indecision anymore. We're not choosing to fail anymore. And whatever it is that I'm going about to do, I'm making a decision that it's going to be done, and it's going to be done well, and the result is going to be a positive one. By not making a decision you're scheduling failure. The final thing that I wanted to talk about is the success process that Dr. Barker lays out. So he says that there's only one process for success. That is to know what you want, decide it will happen, and then act on the decision. And so if you pull out anything, and I know I said this a little bit earlier, but if you pull out anything or just a group of things, put that in the group, right, of things that you pull out from this podcast, is that one success process will improve your life in a very, very measurable and tangible way. Know what you want, decide it's going to happen, and then act on the decision. Act on the decision. Decide it, and then act. For most people, they don't do either one of those things or all three of those things. I mean, the average person doesn't even know what they want. You ask them, well, how much money do you want to make this year? And it's like, I just want to be comfortable. That's not a number. That's not a number. I ask you, how much money do you want to make this year? And most people don't give you an answer. They say, well, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have enough money. Well, what does that mean, enough money? Enough money to, have to sleep on someone's couch? How much money do you want to make? And for so many people, they just don't know. And so when you don't make known what it is that you want, then you kind of get whatever you get. And for most people, that's why they're unfulfilled. That's why they're unhappy, because they never decide truly what they want. And then when you don't decide that it's going to happen, you can't act on it. So it's a domino effect, basically. It starts with knowing what you want, but it ends with you acting on that decision. So I said a lot here. I hope that you got something out of it. I'm going to come back tomorrow for day 5, and we'll talk some more about indecision and how destructive it can be and how it can block you from so many good things in life. But in the meantime, please subscribe to the podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube, as I said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as SoundCloud. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to Blueprint Radio. For more information on Martin Williams coaching and products, please go to guidedexpressions.com or visit me on Facebook as well as Instagram.